I should be back. Give me just a moment. I'm opening some stuff that is needed for the stream on my side, and then we'll continue. Hey, MTF Taskers! Welcome back! Guess what? What do you think happened? I'll let you guess. Stream is still loading for you? That sucks. I don't see anything bad on my end, though. I'll tell you what happened. I had a blackout. The good thing is that I have power now. It was just a blackout. Let me... Oh, you can see now? Hey! You were not able to hear me or anything before? Or you were able to hear me, but you were not able to see anything else? To see anything? I was telling you that I had a blackout. But it was just a blackout, so it was... I'm back. I've been getting some blackouts thanks to the freaking lightning storm. Yes, it was a blackout. There's been a lot of wind in lightning storms lately. The good thing is that it was auto-saved for this. But I think that I need to summon the snail again. And that's okay. Let me do all of this. And let us summon the snail now. Bad weather. Yes. Bad weather indeed. We're going to skip some dialogues until we get to the point. Iskuru, my summon thee. Return, right? He's big. And then he's levitating. It looks like he's asleep, no? He's been in a slumber all these years. I'm doing everything that I did before. I'll let you know when I'm done. Behold, no, engage. I engage. And the cleric is inside of me. Oh, he was on trial. Here, this is where we were. I was on trial. I was on trial. For what? I doomed us all to the flames of Esot. Esot was the dragon. We remember that by looking at the map. Esot was the largest dragon like ever, the red dragon. A fierce beast. It wasn't entirely my fault. What did you do? I made a deal with the Red One. He mutters to himself, trying to remember. It is difficult to read his body language for obvious reasons. However, you get the feeling as he recalls more, he grows more shaken. Esut, the power dragon of Tuilam, our band. I was the diplomat who enacted the plan of peace. We invited the dragon for an exchange of knowledge. Through this, I was greedy. I wanted those strange, draconic techniques. Oh my god, and I just did the same with the worm. I was greedy, and I want some knowledge. It's like story is repeating itself. He did it with a dragon, I did it with the aberration, the worm. Power words. I was not alone in my hubris, nor did I set this plan in motion myself. But it was me who put it in motion. Look at this. Since this snail reads my mind, why do I even bother making a choice of what to say? He's listening to this right now, isn't he? Blah, 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 blah. And then I think strange noises. Now, but I actually want to know, right? What happened? I'm going to ask, what happened? Please stop. Sorry. Go on. The snail man looks pointedly around the room. I am personally responsible for the deaths of approximately 50,000 to 100,000 of my kin. Are you serious? This dude? Of the genocide? I stare at him. The destruction of Toninkata. Yes, that is what it was. Esut went back on his word. He used his unorthodox magic to disrupt our many, many mages. Then he burned the entire city. The towers fell, the screams, the heat. So like, the thing that drained all the basis of Norvik, yes. The goblin also stares at the snail man. How do you survive? Oh, the same way the rest did. We were, as they say, lucky. We were not close enough to his anti-magic, and I could resist his stunning shriek. We fled down downwards as Esot claimed our city as his new throne. We fled even deeper. A few thousands of us, the ones who remained, we hidden. He taps his staff onto the tiles. Oh, remember the tiles? They might be snails below those. This place, it is where we kept our foulest prisoners. It became a base in which we organized resistance. Although some were not so keen to work with someone like me, a traitor. How long were you down here? Months. It did not take long for our divide to build. What do you do here? Debate, mostly. One camped for leaving entirely, another wanted to turn to Jor for guidance. I ended up wanting to leave with my wonderful thought. Oh, his wife. Tut. Tut? Chessy said, sorry. No. The boys who won in the end, they sought a more permanent solution to the Dragonfire. Through primal, pagan magic. I did not believe in that for a second. They imprisoned you for inviting the dragon? That, among other things. I was never the most liked snail on the coast, but they wanted an offering, someone to pin blame. He grows silent, his eyes shiver. Snail begins to think about things he does not want to think about. This poor snail, he knows what he must face now. Failure. I believe you've been imprisoned here for a very long time. How long? His eyes retract, as if he does not want an answer to his question. When were you imprisoned? I'm assuming an era of dragons occurred after our reign. However, we ruled in the aftermath of the shutting of the gates. It had been 211 years since then. The year when our city burned. That is very old. After our old war with Jor, when the gates had shut. That would be almost 2,000 years ago. He grips his staff. You can hear it creak. Millennia? I was in stasis for millennia. Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. Gods! His eyes shoot out, aiming around the room. He's alone. His people are long gone. I am alone. There is no one, is there? I actually saw a snail before. A gigantic snail blocking a path. He shakes his staffs, and his talk eyes wiggle around the air. A faint glow appears as he mutters a few words to himself. Is that a spell? I see snails. Yes, but... Oh, he actually saw the snail that I saw. We have a ton of snails in Norway, but only hail snails. Oh, no. Is this what you made of yourselves? He stops casting the spell, his head falling towards the ground. He's so defeated, right? So sad. Gurema, you fool. You led them into this primal state. Degenerative, frozen, monstrous beasts. Hell snails. I realize his terrible fate. Poor guy, right? He lets out a mad laugh. No! They wanted to use the primal code to break the dragon's fire. That bastard, he led them into pure de-evolution. It is a nightmare. Oh, by your grace. Tell me, how do you break this stasis I was in? Your angel companion steps in. Her last thought was of you, Iskurum. I think it. You, cleric. Imagine it in your head. Now, please. Because he's connected to me. If I imagine it, he's going to remember the exact words of his wife. I think about my talk at the Arendor. To Irma. She was in an Arendor. They threw her in an Arendor for millennia. His eyes droop down towards the ground. I cannot believe it. My actions cost. I ruined my people. I wrought flames. I divided them. Yet, in the end, I did not even pay for my crimes with my life. Instead, I pay by standing here, alone among the ashes. Hey, Askani, and Tut, Chi, and you the most torturous existence known to sentience. Your soul is slowly withering inside of that hellish prison. Yet after all that, in the end she... Like a tear said, her last thoughts were only of you. He lets out a grunt. then a painful howl. Then he roars a deep, bubbling scream, causing his glistening flesh to vibrate. Ooh. I stare at the snail. When he stops, he takes his staff and slams it into the ground. I reject this strength. George's words do not speak of a humble nature. He broke off this world to make his own path. I will do exactly the same. What are you talking about? He lets out a gust of wind. I can fix this. What? Yeah. What? Fix what? My dear thought was destroyed by an iron prison that leaves her soul in pieces. Not quite dead, not quite in existence. But I am court polar is Urum. I wield strings like George himself. From this day on, I no longer seek power, nor achieve greatness, nor will I build empires. I will only perform one miracle. I will resurrect her, then I will pay her back 1,000-fold for her unyielding love and devotion. Yes, the celestial clenches her fists. Pay your debt, Dolan, to her. Everything I have. What kind of resurrection? True resurrection. Not easy. Especially when the strings are this weak. And Eva, surely? What? Can you tell me more about... Yes, anything you need. I am in your debt as well, of course. He mutters to himself and leans on his staff. I now have a time limit, Tarek. In 200 years, the fragments of my wife's soul will leave this plane forever. Thus I can no longer resurrect her. And it will take time, but it can be done. Anything can be done. He is coping, but not in a terribly destructive way. Fuck yes. You need anything? Just let me know. Thank you, my green friend. That is very romantic, Iskudum. I wish you luck on your venture. Thank you, Celestial. It's funny. Last time I saw one of your kind, he was on a battlefield. I prefer this. As do I. And this guy knew how to enter the pillar, I think. And I missed my chance of having him as my master instead of the aberration, right? Let us actually ask him, do you know how to enter the pillar? No. The wish to enter a closed gate that is bold. I need to follow a rogue spellcaster inside, a suspected rogue spellcaster. The snail stares at you. I heard nothing. But if you need to enter a closed gate, that is no small feat, of course. But so why is he saying, I heard nothing? That's kind of sus, no? He's pretending that he didn't hear me say this. But it's possible? Very much so. What lies beyond is not so much a mystery as it is a question of shape, tunnels, paths, cracks in the veil around your realm. To enter is as simple as either having a key, a blessed passing, or forcing your way with a powerful spell. Gate, astral projection, wish. Taking or breakthrough, of course. With the current state of things, during your time, it is clear all such methods would be difficult. Very difficult. You require assistance from creatures who have studied or understand its current shape. Have any in mind? He lowers his head. Tut was a genius on planar travel. She could have helped you. You made him sad again. That's sad. Sorry. He looks at you with one eye. As the other falls upon his staff. Have you been paying attention? He's constantly leaning into his staff. Is the staff a living thing, maybe? You made a great friend in me, cleric. That will be rewarded. He gave me the staff. That was the reason why he was constantly looking at it. The staff of strings. A staff of strings. The staff? I grip it. You hold it out, feeling the power surge to the rough wood. It's full of power. I call it Mitherish, staff of strings. You may call it staff of Tolincado, as remembrance of my fallen people. It will be returned to me once you are finished with all of this. The crystal at the top lights up as he speaks. It is now attuned to you. If you will that while dealing with this gate, it would grant you assistance, information, attunement, so on. My dear wife's research can be found within its core. It would help you, I'm sure. Thank you. And Toot. As for who you should speak with, I have no idea. But unless you want to write a contract with some powerful devil or serve a far real realm monster, you might not have too many good options. You see that? I signed a contract with a far realm monster, and that is the aberration. So I actually had to do it to be able to enter the pillar. Boy, entering the pillar is going to be Komodo hard, no? Maybe I will finally get I get my hands on the rogue spellcaster. The only creature I knew Vedon, my people who understand the mechanics of the gate, was the gate guardian herself. But she was ancient by the time I reached adulthood, so I would not count on her being around still. Gate guardian? Are you talking about the Sphinx? Excuse me? Ulysses. The Sphinx. She's still around. Yeah. So you know her? She was the gate guardian, interesting. The snail leans back, still reeling over this information. You keep chucking the poor man. I have to visit. So she's still in the lair? It's a tavern now, called the Drunk Sphinx. This is a strange era you built for yourselves. I can say I dislike it. In that case, I highly recommend you go speak with Ulysses. Unless you made a fool of yourself before her, she might be inclined to help getting you into the gate crack. I can have a flashback to when I spoke with Ulysses last. And that way he himself is going to be able to see it, I think. Oh, Jordan. I'm sure with Medivish it will be fine. And if not, then maybe there is some other dark and oppressive magical creature we can persuade. Like that aberration called Everglad that lives in these tunnels, I assume. He looks around. I should probably leave here soon if things like that have taken hold. Can you teach me magic? Oh, teaching? That is not my specialty. If you have any questions, I can always share my knowledge. But beyond that, I'm afraid I can only offer some spell scrolls. What does Eva mean? His eyes dart around. Do you want the definition? I spoke with a demi-lich who spoke of an esoteric Eve. It sounds like web. Yes. I also thought that that was the name of the character. It's also a last name, I think. And I found it to be funny, a funny name for a game, Esoteric Eve. Just like saying Esoteric John or something, no? Or Esoteric Johnson. But no, Esoteric Eve is like the lack of magic. Basically. There's not a lot of mages in the modern times in this game. And that is called an Esoteric Eve. But Demi Lich, dangerous friends to have, cleric, unless the world has changed by more than I imagined since I left. His eyes jitter a bit. The Eve is defined as an effect of anti-magic. Wait, what? This is different. An effect of anti-magic. Lack of magic. An effect of anti-magic. Oh. It is when the flow of magic is ebbed, lowered, ceased. It still makes sense then, the lack of magic. It is a word I do not like, for many reasons. For one, it was a tool used by our enemies in the Gate War. To sink George's realm, they wished to quell his strings. Then, of course, it was the dragon Esoterico. His betrayal began by the casting of a horrid and terribly effective spell. Power word Eve. That is the opposite of Esoteric Eve. Bravo. Power word Eve. What does he do? Power word Eve puts a clamp on your strings. A large area, I believe up to 1,000 feet, becomes void of high-tier magics, and low-tier magic becomes unstable. Yet it is not simple anti-magic field. It is not an area of suppression of magic. It is the literal editing of the streams themselves. It cuts off flow to the streams, flow from the past and future, a ripple of non-magic through time. I will be honest, I have no clue what the exact parameters of casting such a spell would be, nor what the long-term effects are. But it does sound to me like your era has been affected by some terrible events, for your strings seem to me as if they are indeed clamped and crushed, as if struggling to breathe. Do you think Eve caused the weakening of the Arcanis at the end of the Coast War? That is a lot of questions. I'll say possibly, probably, not really, and yes, through time. It is, of course, only a theory of mine when it comes to esoteric effects, pockets, events, and so on. But what makes an esoteric ebb so powerful is the sheer time frame of it. The consequences can be unfelt for centuries. That is what makes George's esoteric magic so powerful and so dangerous. No sane being can calculate beyond the third dimension. No, at least not at least beyond some abstract, impractical sense. We are not made for it. But that doesn't stop me from researching it, or at least until Aesop did. Now he's getting sad again. What do you know about George Strange? Oh, we're almost at the end of the stream. So this is going to be the final interaction of today. But oh boy, will tomorrow be hype? Tomorrow, I think that I might be able to get into the pillar. He holds out a hand and casts prestidigitation. The hell is that prestidigitation, by the way? Wait, what? Almost at the end? That was kind of fast. What do you mean that was kind of fast? I've been streaming for almost 4 hours, buddy. like every session. It's just that you were late, and there was also a blackout, so it makes you think that I just started the stream. And that I've been streaming for 1 hour or something. Yeah, probably just for you as well. What the hell is prestidigitation, by the way? Oh, it's a spell, most likely. When the aura created the coast, he did not make it from scratch. Dazzling lights spawn out of his palm, forming a collection of gleaming lights. He used magic. He used stars, to create magic. That's what George did. A coast of magic. Of stars. A coast of stars. He based his design on others. The landscape, the water, the wind, the biome, as well as the magic. Also, George is like the Almighty, I guess, in this world. He created water, wind, earth, biomes, landscapes. And he also created magic. So it was meant to be a magical world. But then something happened. And to create magic, he used the stars. In most other realms, from what our history teaches us, ley lines, as in the thing we channel magic from, is usually formed as a web. Get wrecked. Silly bot. Goodbye. Wait, is it actually banned or not? I don't think that it's banned. It is banned, never mind. No, it wasn't. I think that it wasn't. The ultimate punishment. The ban hammer. Yes, getting squashed like the little insects that they might be. They can be turned into a little dust, into a little pulp. Hell yeah. A network, a weaving, a series of nodes connected. This design was fundamental and solid. It connected so many material realms to the other ones. As in, they were not just one. The solid world of mortals on one side, the vaults with all the angels and demons and non-mortals on the other. A magic web interconnecting them. They don't live on the same world? He nods. Jor did something different. He created the strings instead of having a series of nodes with connections between them. His ley lines were simply just nodes. They contain a sort of esoteric vector, intensity, delta, rush, tone, some call it colors, various difficult to parse parameters. Instead of being interconnected, they simply bump into one another. Physically, that is how they interact, to put it in a simple metaphor. Maybe MTF task force. Maybe they think that we are desperate, right? And that we are potential customers. But no, never. However, George did something ingenious here. He took this design of those interconnected webs and repurposed them, not to connect to one another, but to connect with themselves. Over time itself, connected from the past to the present to the future. A straight line, a chord, a string. Alright, thank you. That should be every question I have about the strings. How do you guys are solid? Let's move on. Okay. That's a lot to take in all at once. Oh, right. Divine reading. I'll take your questions one by one, if that's okay. Starting off, compared to the original web design, which I sadly have not been able to investigate myself, I am basing all of my findings off data retrieved from my forebears. There seems to be almost no real difference on the surface level. Channeling magic from a practical art works fundamentally the same. Drawing powers from the network, using verbal, somatic, and components to steer this power in a certain direction. However, this change, making the network into strings, changes how that magic flows. Instead of being focused on that one point in time, it is constantly connected to the past and present. Part of that power is leaked in each direction. Now, this does happen in some degree in a normal web-based node system as well. That's how divination magic works. But instead of it happening in a natural way, just like we remember where we were a second ago, so does magic. Just like we can extrapolate on current information in order to reach conclusions about the future, so does magic. The strings, instead, are directly connected. It would be as if we constantly saw ourselves in the past alongside our present, with glimpses of the future, like a constant, permanent form of divination magic. It's quite difficult to imagine. To answer your second question, I do not know why Jor made the strings this way. There are theories. He could have done it to perform some type of chronomancy. Perhaps it was simply an experiment. My personal belief is simply that Jor found it efficient. By linking esoteric energies to the past and future, it would make sense that we are able to build a much more potent acceleration in our spells. How this works in practice, none can tell, not since the case is closed. As to your third question, yes, it sounds as if your arcanists did uncover many of the same mysteries we worked on. However, it does sound as if Jor abandoned them in a way not too dissimilar to our own. Finally, your fourth question. Chronomancy is a topic many wizards dream of as they study. I must disappoint you. There are no ways beyond divination, those little peeks behind the curtain, to tamper with time. As the strings move forward, Jor watches us go along them. That is one of the messages we received from him all those years ago. He is watching. This is our one chance to make our choices, so make them well. You are the roots God of time. Be interesting. Oh, he's hearing me, right? He's hearing everything, even Constitution. I am beyond. I am already in a contract with a far realm creature in the form of ever glad. The one in the pipes. The aberration. long answers. I know, it's crazy. And I actually didn't even ask for them. But in my mind, I was actually considering asking him. But I was trying to do you guys a solid. But since this guy can read my mind, even through the monitor, it seems, he knew that I wanted the answers. So he ended up telling me everything, even if I didn't request it, with my voice. That was a cool detail from the game. It's like this guy can read the player's mind, too. Oh, if you find yourself beyond, to let me know. I'd love to investigate. Thank you. That was very informative. No problem. I am no lecturer, so apologies if I'm ranting too much. That said, I'm going to end it here. I'll see you around, Isk. And then I leave. He was actually forcing an answer, yes. And he's saying that he's no lecturer. I mean, there are some things that cannot really be TLDR'd, no? They really have to tell everything. They cannot summarize it. This is probably one of the cases. There it is. And now we're going to quit to the menu. There it is. So tomorrow I will most likely, I want to go and talk to the Sphinx, but I would most likely also be able to enter the pillar. And I had to do something else at the top of the city. But tomorrow I will remember what I have to do. Hey, thank you for the hydrate, buddy. The long parts of something is definitely more informative. You're doing a disservice for yourself by only reading the LDRs, no? Unless that you don't really have the time, go for the TLDRs. TLDRs, right? Too long didn't read. But if you had the time, just read everything. Chug, 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 chug. Drink one of your houses. Let's do this. Oh, and somebody that cares. Thank you, MTF Task Force. Let's do this. The delicious liquid of life. The elixir of life. As MTF Task Force mentioned in the past. Thank you, MTF Taskers. Thank you for redeeming those Whatamemer coupons. And don't forget that at Whatamemer, they have hamburgers, right? And we like to add some slices or Mexican avocado right in the middle of them. And for only $2, that is right, for only $2 more bucks, you get the chance to add up some fries and soda. That is correct. For only $2, you can only get that type of treatment. What I mean? But anyway, let us properly end the stream now. You actually drank Coke? Why? Why don't you like it? You don't like any soda? What about root beer? Root beer soda. Do you like that or not? No, I don't think so, no? It's also sugar. You probably don't like sugar drinks. You don't like too much sugar. You don't like root beer? Root beer tastes like medicine, kinda. It's kind of sour. Is that the word? Sour? Or bitter? Probably bitter. Well, this. Thanks again for watching. Everyone, we want to end the stream today. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. CST. Let me give some shout outs to the people that were in the chat today. We had anti-attachers, and we also had that's it. Only MTF Taskers. Only MTF Taskers. Oh yes, a special shout out to MTF Taskers. Let's do this. Shout out. Thank you for watching the stream and for making this stream a pleasant activity. Hell yeah. He didn't let me die. Right? He didn't let me die. Solo carrying the viewers, no, the chatting today. And maybe the viewership. The only human. No, shut up to the bots. But yes, thanks again for watching, and remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. And now, I'm ready to end the stream. Let's do this.